Hey guys, I'm back after a long break. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna discuss three films, that being John Wick Chapter 4, Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, and Shazam: Fury of the Gods. We're gonna start off with John Wick Chapter 4, and I had an absolute blast with this film. It is directed by Chad Stahelski, who helmed all four films, and this is easily the best and most enjoyable John Wick film, even though in terms of pacing, I believe it is most comparable to John Wick 1. That being, it takes a while to get to the meat of the film. Although we do start off with a few action scenes here and there, and once those big action set pieces get going, it's a lot of fun, but it does take a while to get to it, and we have to watch undoubtedly really good looking scenes, but just talk of stuff that I really don't care about. About the Continentals and the rules and yada yada yada. I'm not a fan of all that stuff. It's just stuff to fill in the gaps in between the really amazing action set pieces. And the action is the best in this film. In all the John Wick films, this is my favorite. It's the best John Wick film. It's the best looking, has the best fights, and that's all I can really say about it. The story is just continues on from John Wick Chapter 3, whereas he wants to kill the people at the top of the order, whatever the hell it's called, or whatever. That, and he wants to get out of the life of the Continental and yada yada. He wants to be a free man. And he goes on a journey of killing a bunch of people to do that. And it's really enjoyable. I really thought the action set pieces here were fucking incredible. And the stunt work is awesome. And there's a lot of people saying that they wish stunt work was more recognized, such as getting an Oscar category for it. And I wouldn't be opposed to that at all. And if they have Emmys for it, I believe, so why can't we get an Oscar category for that? I think that'd be incredible, because these stunt people, and more specifically, the stunt people in this film, are doing some crazy and insane shit, and it's really enjoyable for our viewing, for us seeing these gigantic action set pieces. I want to read the opening I have for my review on Letterboxd, because it perfectly describes what this film is. A blind assassin, shotguns that shoot small missile-like projectiles that turn people on fire, and a dog that goes for the nuts. That's all you need to know about this movie. That's all you need to know, that this movie kicks ass. And I really dug it. I watched it in IMAX. It looks beautiful. Not even just the action set pieces, the cinematography in every scene. It just looks great. I thought the color grading was great. The lighting was great. And of course, that's all the more impressive in the action set pieces. And I'm not going to spoil what happens in the film, but I just want to talk about a few of my favorite action set pieces. More specifically, the third act is fucking nuts. It's just a bunch of people trying to kill John Wick before he has to get to this duel, right, to become free. And there's this like, it's supposed to look like it's one shot, but there's a cut in the middle to show more action elsewhere. But these two shots are long and unbroken shots of a overhead view of the action that's going on as John Wick is going through this house. And it is fucking cool what's going on. Yeah, there's some CG fire here and there, but it doesn't take you out. It doesn't undermine how impressively well thought out this action set piece was. That is John Wick murdering a bunch of people in this one sequence. This giant take. The two takes, but they're both really long. And as he finds new weapons, as he's going around the corners, as people try to kill him, it's all fucking cool, and I love it. It's just the thought process and the planning to go into that. Not only that, but the stair fight scene, that was fucking cool. Okay, and that's all I'm gonna say about that. It's really, that the stair fight scene was really fucking cool. The planning that had to go into that, and the planning that had to go into that stupid round street or whatever in France, I think they're in. I'm joking to my friends. I'm saying they're playing Frogger in the middle of the street, dodging all of these cars, also while killing each other. That's fucking cool. The plan that had to go into that, all the driving work and all the people running around trying to kill each other, that's fucking cool. And that's what this movie is. It's fucking cool. And I know I had a discussion with a friend a while back about I was talking about how I'm tired of seeing Fast and Furious all the time. And I'm saying it's schlock, like what it is. And he says, well, how come you see that as schlock, but not John Wick as schlock? And I can get that. I can get that this can be seen as schlock because there are moments in these John Wick movies that are undoubtedly kind of dumb. Like there's a section in the middle of the film. It's important for the story as to why John Wick has to do something in order to be able to even make a challenge to become free. But it's so long, and I get it why it happens story-wise, but it seems like they kind of wrote themselves in a corner with doing stuff from previous films. Like, okay, now he has to do this. Like, it's just a giant chunk of the film. As entertaining as it is, as cool as the fight scenes are that are shown in this film, as cool as the fight scenes that are shown in this section, in this middle chunk of the film, it is undoubtedly kind of dumb that, oh, he has to do this. And it's just, I don't know, I can't really explain it, that it's just kind of dumb, and it doesn't undermine how enjoyable this film can be. I'm just going to say this. All in all, John Wick Chapter 4 is really fun. I had a blast with it. There's obviously some dumb moments in it with some dumb dialogue, some dumb cheesy dialogue, but there are some touching moments in it. There are some shocking moments in it. And the action is really well done, and it's fucking awesome. I'm going to give John Wick Chapter 4 a B+. It's just enjoyable at the end of the day. I really dug it. All right, now we're going to move on to Shazam! Fury of the Gods, directed by David F. Sandberg. He also helmed the first Shazam film, a film that I really liked and enjoyed. It was something different from the DCEU films, and I'm not saying that, it had to be dark and grim like the other stuff that Snyder set up. But Shazam on its own was an enjoyable film. Shazam! Fury of the Gods has been getting a lot of bad press around it, or just that being the reviews. Critically and based on other people that I follow about movie reviews and whatnot, some people aren't digging it. I can see why, but in all honesty, I think people are they have superhero fatigue. I don't, however, and I thought Shazam! Fury of the Gods was a good time. Is it as good as the first film? No. Are there issues with it? Yes. Did I hate it? Not at all. I liked it. I enjoyed myself watching Shazam! Fury of the Gods. Damn Xbox, I forgot to turn the TV off. But anyways, so with this film, Billy Batson is growing older and he's fearing the possibility of losing his family, and he doesn't want to become attached to them because he doesn't know if they really want to keep him or not, that being his adoptive mother and father. All the while, he wants to keep his siblings together as they are the superheroes, the Shazam characters in their Shazam forms. He wants them to be together, but everyone wants to go do their own thing. All the while these goddesses, they want to take back the powers of Shazam and wreak havoc on the world because their father Zeus or whatever, the powers are now with children. We want the powers back because they were stolen from us, yada yada. And I don't mean to say yada yada and whatever, because I mean it's been a while since I've seen the film. Of course, everything's a little hazy in me, but I don't mean to undermine the story because I dug the story. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the action, the film. I thought that was really fun. It's just a fun movie. It's fun and enjoyable. And what I liked about it is that it's so contained. It's not worrying about, oh, we need to set up this character for this spin-off, and we need to do these characters and their side quests for this spin-off so we can bring them all together for a giant future movie. Something that Marvel has been doing a lot lately. And they've had a lot of their hits and misses, but this film was just enjoyable. It's its own fun, contained story, and it has heart to it. That's what I appreciated the most about it, that it has an identity, and it has a somewhat touching story that it wants to tell. I really dug that. There are some moments that I genuinely felt had heart to it. You can call this film generic and safe and by the numbers. Yeah, I dug it. I thought it was fun. And I don't mean to just keep saying I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. It's enjoyable. It's a superhero movie that I wish we see more of. Just fun, containable stories. And I'm pretty sure it's a box office bomb and it's flopping, yada yada, because of what the new direction that DC is trying to go with their films. Is this even going to matter? Who knows? I don't care. I saw this movie. I had a good time with it. It looks good. There's some CG that's noticeable, but it's not terrible. And it's a smaller budgeted superhero film. It's not like it has the budget of Infinity War or any of these gigantic big Marvel movies. I mean, visually, this looks more impressive from a director standpoint than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, you're probably wondering why I haven't had a review for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I didn't want to waste my time talking about a movie I didn't really enjoy. I'm talking about Shazam! Fury of the Gods because I enjoyed it. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is littered with just strange choices where it doesn't feel like there's heart to it. It doesn't feel like it has a personality. This film does. This film, it's just fun. And one thing I also wanted to point out that I really appreciated too was that the villains of the film, I want to look up the actresses' names because I want to give them credit. Helen Mirren, she plays one of the villains. Lucy Liu, she plays one of the villains. And aside from Rachel Ziegler, who's really young, even though she's kind of like the same age or something as these goddesses are, because they're like really old. They're old women. They're old women doing stuff. They're not super young and super attractive and super thin women. They thought, hey, these people are really old. Let's cast older people for this role. And they didn't want to try to sell them as sexy women. They're older women who have powers and they're going to kill people and do bad stuff. I kind of dug that. I don't want to just keep watching movies and seeing skin-tight models all the time pretending to be villainous. These are older women and they felt villainous. I didn't need to see them as a sex figure or anything. I didn't care about that. I just wanted to see villains do some villainous things. Better directed than Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Even outside of the superhero stuff, I just think it looks good. And, nothing blows me away about the look of this film. I just like how it looks. Zachary Levi, of course, is still really enjoyable as Shazam. You really feel like he's the kid, Billy Batson. And I think all the casting and all the characters, they did their best. And I'm not saying they did their best with what they had. No, they genuinely have good performances. They have touching moments and they play it off really well. And I really dug it because they had a good director. They had a good script. They had these touching moments, and there was plenty of people in my theater that were sniffling at certain moments because I'm like, okay, they connected with it. That's good. I dug this movie. I didn't think it's cheesy, dumb, safe, by the numbers, whatever, like you may hear other people think. I dug Shazam! Fury of the Gods. I thought it was a really enjoyable time. There are certain aspects I wish weren't there. Like there's a chunk in the third act of the film where Shazam is fighting this cool looking dragon, but all the while there are these characters, the human characters, who don't have their powers at the time. They're riding these unicorns trying to kill these monsters because of the apple that was planted in Earth, and it's making these monsters. It just seemed like they needed something for the human characters to do because they didn't have powers. Like, okay, let's just make them ride unicorns and let's not really show them all too much. I'm just thinking they're spending a good amount of time on this when I care more about Shazam fighting this cool looking dragon thing, you know? I want to see more of that. I don't want to see these weird unicorn things and Skittles product placement. I'll say that. Skittles product placement. There's just something much more cooler going on throughout the film at that moment than the unicorn crap. But I get it. It's for a specific demographic. The idea of it is fun. I just wish it had more of an impact to it. Like, I wish these monsters were actually killing people. Or, like, shown them being killed. Rather than, oh, they're throwing cars around and causing destruction and not really killing people. I mean, some people do get killed, but I get it. It's a more of a family type film. I'm not trying to degrade the film by saying it's a family film like that. I'm just saying there's a specific demographic for this. I'm going to end this off. Shazam! Fury of the Gods was enjoyable. I dug it. It's not as good as the first film, but I don't think it's bad in any means. I'm going to give Shazam! Fury of the Gods a B-. I liked it. And do I see myself buying the Blu-ray for it at some point? Maybe in the future. I mean, I have Shazam. I really like Shazam. Maybe I'll get this one to round it out. Also, one more thing. There are certain choices that were made throughout the film that I felt would have had a really good emotional impact that I wish they kept or they stayed through with. But then you think about the rest of the, like, oh, why aren't these characters showing up? Why does this character show up? How do the characters show up in these specific moments because we need certain things going on? Yada yada. I don't know. Just small, not plot holes, but I guess plot holes. Whatever. I just dug Shazam: Fear of the Gods. I hope you guys enjoy it, or you enjoyed it. All right, we're going to talk about one more film. That is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves, directed by John Francis Daley and Jonathan M. Goldstein. Now, this is a film that when the first trailer dropped, I was like, I don't know, it looks a little silly to me. But then as time went on, I was thinking, maybe this will be fun. I saw that there was an early showing for it before it came out initially, so I went to go see that early showing. It was a Sunday and the movie came out Thursday, whatever. So I saw it and I really enjoyed it. I thought this is a really good movie. It's about these characters. What are their names? It's been a while since I've seen the movie, and it's, a lot of fantasy stuff with a lot of, strange names. So Chris Pine plays Edgin. Michelle Rodriguez plays Holga. So these two characters have to reunite their team back together after escaping a prison so they can save Edgar's daughter from some evil butthole who betrayed them all. Also, while there's some evil stuff going on with red wizards. And I'm just going to say this. I have never played D&D in my life. I've always wanted to. My friends in college did, and they played for hours. And I thought it sounded really cool. I mean, my RA got us into Magic, the Gathering. I thought that was cool. That's as much as like fantasy stuff I've gotten into in terms of like stuff like this and D&D and Magic and whatever. But I always wanted to get into D&D. So there's like certain things I don't know about, like the lore, if there is lore to D&D and whatever. And if there is, I don't think you'll go into this film not knowing and feeling lost, because they explain certain things like, okay, red wizards are bad. Okay, there's certain magic rules that happen, and they don't try to give a specific explanation for it. It's just, oh, that's how it is. Okay, cool. We move on with the movie. I like the arcs that these characters get. I wish certain arcs were developed just a little bit better. Like there's a specific arc with Edgar's character and his dead wife, and there's a few touching moments with that, and especially involving the daughter character that he has to save. I just wish that was built up just a little bit more, a little bit better. I mean, I like the outcome of it. It's just I really wish it was built up more, that there's more to it. I do like that though. I like all the arcs the characters go through. More specifically, there's this character named Simon. He's like a magician. I really like his arc. I dug it. I really liked his character. Some people found him annoying. I didn't. I thought he was really enjoyable. I like all the characters in this film. They're really cool. And I thought all the cast did their best with what they were given. Not with what they were given, like, oh, they weren't given anything to work with. No. What they had, the cast, great performances all around. That's all I'll say. Now, in terms of the world building, I thought it was fun. There's a lot of cool set pieces that we're at. There's a lot of practicals in this film that I didn't expect, like suits and creatures. I just thought it looked really cool. And I'm like, okay, there's heart to this film. I've talked about heart before. There's no heart in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. There was heart in Shazam, and there is definitely a heart and a passion in this film. I dug all of the action. I thought the choreography was great. Of course, it's not like John Wick action. There's more fantasy stuff involved, and the hand-to-hand combat stuff is really cool in this film. And it feels violent. Not as violent as John Wick Chapter 4, but there are some really fun action set pieces in this film. You do see people die, but it's just really fun and imaginative because we're in this fantasy world. Oh, this character can change into animals. Oh, this character can use magic. These characters fight with swords and stuff. It's all really cool and enjoyable and fun. I dig the story. I thought the music was pretty good. Not memorable because I haven't seen this film in a while. It's been a while since I've seen this film, yada yada. But for all the moments, I thought it worked. Me sitting in the theater going, okay, yeah, that worked. I like it. It's good. And this is also a really funny movie too. There's plenty of moments where my theater just erupted in laughter. It's not extremely funny, but the small jokes are funny. Certain moments are pretty funny. Some characters get good lines. It's not like that weird, quirky humor we see a lot. And the jokes, and I've probably said this before in one of my reviews on Letterboxd, like in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, the jokes stop a scene. These jokes in this film, they just roll along. They're just there, and they keep going on with the story. I appreciate that. I think it's a good script. I like the action. I definitely want to see more out of this series because there's obviously going to be more Dungeons and Dragons movies. I think the cast will be down for it. Yeah, it sets itself up for sequels, but it's not unbearable. Like, it's because you want to see more of it too. There's more to the story with these other villains, yada yada. It's just a really fun movie. And I don't mean to say that like, oh, it's fun, turn your brain off. No, you can enjoy this movie. I dug it. Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves gets an A- for me. A friend was shocked that I said I liked Dungeons and Dragons more than John Wick 4. Go ahead, say whatever you want. Of course, John Wick 4 is extremely enjoyable, but I just liked this film more because I like this fantasy stuff. I enjoyed myself. I didn't think I'd like it until maybe like a few weeks before it came out. I'm thinking, I'm looking forward to this movie. The advertisement looks fun. It grew on me. So, Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. I highly recommend it to anyone, really. Fun magic stuff. The last fight scene is honestly really cool. It's just so imaginative and fun. And the CG, it's some moments it's a little noticeable, but that doesn't mean it's bad because there's a lot of, real set pieces that these characters interact with. It's not like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania where it's just all CG and it's all looks fake. It just looks like they're standing in front of the screen, which they are. There's actual environments that these characters play in, and it's fun. There's a lot of heart poured into this movie. So I encourage you to check it out. A lot of people seem to be enjoying it. So, what did you think about these 3 films that I reviewed? John Wick Chapter 4, Shazam Fury of the Gods, and Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Did you like them? Did you hate them? Do you think they were okay? Do you think they were amazing? I liked them all, and what I'm doing with these reviews is I'm just going to be reviewing films that I really liked. So far in the year 2023, I have seen Mithrigan, Skinamarink, Infinity Pool, Knock at the Cabin, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Creed 3, John Wick 4, Shazam 2, Dungeons and Dragons, and the Mario movie. Now, you can see on my channel that I haven't discussed Infinity Pool, Knock at the Cabin, and Quantumania. That's because after Skinamarink, I said I'm not going to review films I don't like anymore. Because I want to talk about movies that I like. I don't want to sit down for 20 minutes discussing a film that I didn't like, didn't enjoy. Although Infinity Pool did have some interesting shots and, good moments. I didn't like the film overall. Knock at the Cabin, didn't like it at all. Thought it had great performances, but I just couldn't get behind it, how kind of boring it was. Infinity Pool as well. And in Quantumania, it's just a mess. So, what'd you think about those movies? Tell me what you thought about it in the comments below, and I'll be back with more enjoyable content like this. So, bye.